2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 25th of May, and it's World Towel Day. And a big happy birthday to Ian McKellen, Octavia Spencer, Mike Myers, and Cillian Murphy. Tuesday saw the Times break a new story on Partygate, suggesting that the now famous meeting Boris had with Sue Gray was more than just a casual catch-up. Steve Swinford, political editor, explains what went on.
What we are hearing is that during the meeting, Boris Johnson suggested that she should just drop the full investigation because actually the Metropolitan Police had done a very thorough job and there was a lot of information out there.
BBC's Panorama also took a deep dive into Partygate, with Laura Koonsberg speaking to anonymised Number 10 insiders who described people sitting on each other's laps or staying the night in Downing Street and regularly finding empty bottles on tables. Oh, and there was a regular social event for the press office.
Wine Time Fridays, invites that were in everyone's calendar for every Friday at 4 p.m.
That hasn't gone down well with the Tory party, and with the Sue Gray report expected on Wednesday, Tom Tugendhat says one of the reasons there's an energy crisis and a war in Ukraine is because our government just isn't taken seriously.
We're seeing food prices and energy prices rising across the UK. We're seeing the pain in families and in homes across our country because we weren't serious. And I'm afraid these photographs just, frankly, they don't make us look serious.
London Mayor Labour Sadiq Khan says there's also a penalty to be paid for lying to Parliament over the many parties.
When you're at the dispatch box, there's a rule that's really important. You can never mislead the House. It appears Boris Johnson misled the House.
Russia's war on Ukraine continued into its 4th month on Tuesday, and it saw Boris Bondarev, a Russian diplomat at the UN, publicly quit his role.
It is about my disagreement and disapproval of the current policy by the Russian government. Mm-hmm. And I, as a Russian diplomat, can no longer be associated with this.
Russia continues to push hard in the Donbass region, forcing Ukrainian troops back and taking 3 more towns in the Donetsk region. They're also pushing hard to encircle Ukrainian troops in Luhansk. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has spoken out against the Russian imperialist aggression, saying that Germany will not accept it and defending the sanctions applied so far, suggesting they're hurting the Russian economy and will have an impact on Vladimir Putin.
They will go back in their opportunities of economic development for decades, so they will suffer, and they are suffering, and for getting out of this he has to stop the war.
As Russia's attacks in the east intensified, 200 more bodies were found in the basement of an apartment building in Mariupol. Ukrainian President Zelensky continues to plead for more heavy weaponry, particularly to help to put an end to an ongoing Russian air and missile assault on his country.
In less than 3 months, there have been more than 3,000 airstrikes by Russian aircraft and helicopters. What other country has withstood such a scale of strikes?
There are suggestions that Chancellor Rishi Sunak's finally preparing to intervene in the cost of living crisis, with talks of a new package to help the worst affected families within days. He may well have been spurred into action by the testimony of Ofgem CEO Jonathan Brearley, who testified before a Commons committee on Tuesday, and he had nothing but bad news for energy customers.
We are expecting a price cap in October in the region of £2,800.
A further £800 rise could be a devastating blow for those already struggling, and Business Minister Kwasi Kwarteng didn't exactly offer much reassurance as he spoke to the committee.
We all know that people are under huge stress. We also know that the cost of living is a very real issue. And nobody's suggesting that the government can pay the entirety of the energy bill. What we are committed to is giving support, and that's what we're doing.
There's been yet another mass shooting at an elementary school in Texas, with at least 21 people, including 19 children, now confirmed dead. According to Texan Governor Greg Abbott, the gunman's also dead.
He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher. Mr. Ramos, the shooter, he himself is deceased.
The incident took place at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde and has been called the worst mass shooting in a decade and is the second deadliest shooting in US history. President Biden addressed the nation on Tuesday evening after the shooting occurred and asked the nation to pray for all those affected. He also spoke about the urgent need to enact gun reform laws.
Why do we keep letting this happen? Where in God's name is our backbone to have the courage to deal with it and stand up to the lobbies? It's time to turn this pain into action.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Sadie Sink says things get stranger on Stranger Things, and there's a new blockbuster from the Russo brothers on the way. Right after this. Welcome back.
It's going to be an odd summer for sport, with the World Cup not taking place until November, so instead we've got the exciting Nations League in June. That'll see England facing Hungary, Germany and Italy, and England manager Gareth Southgate announced his summer squad on Tuesday. The biggest surprise was probably that he left out Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson, but included teammate Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gareth says the Champions League final was on his mind.
I was very conscious with the Champions League boys. I mean, they've had a remarkable season, really. You know, they couldn't have been involved in any more matches. And we've learned over the last sort of 3 or 4 years where we've had players in that match, the emotional fallout, win or lose from that game, is enormous.
This Friday sees the first 7 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4 drop on Netflix. The final 2 episodes aren't due until July, but there's already a lot of excitement over the show, which apparently gets even weirder this season. And the good news for fans is that the episodes are getting longer too. Sadie Sink plays Max in the show, and she told Jimmy Fallon things do get, well, stranger.
It's darker and scarier than ever.
It is.
The kids are obviously, we're a lot more mature now, so the show has kind of matured with it in a way. And Max, she's not doing too hot. You're kind of getting to see her in her emo phase a bit. And I don't want to say that was fun to explore, but it was a nice challenge.
The Russo brothers are the team behind some of Marvel's biggest hits, including Captain America and Avengers Endgame, which is one of the highest grossing films of all time. So, when they turn their attention to a non-superpowered thriller, you can bet it's going to be pretty spectacular. They've lined up Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, Reggie John Page and more for their slick thriller The Grey Man, which may well be the first of a series. It hits cinemas on July the 15th and Netflix on July the 22nd.
They have something they really want. What's your gut? It's going to be my funeral you're going to next.
You want to make an omelet? You got to kill some people.
You must be Lloyd. What gave it away? The trash stash. It leans Lloyd.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.